In a world that once turned its back on heroes, a different kind of war was brewing, one that didn't start with a bang or a villain's monologue, but with a smile and a scream. We all remember the moment. The Underminer drills through the streets, chaos erupts, and the Pars spring into action again. But what we didn't see was the glitch behind the curtain, the crack in reality beneath the cement. Bob and Helen Parr weren't just saving the day. They were triggering something buried, something old and unfinished. As the dust settled, a new name stepped into the light. Winston Dver. Bright suit, brighter smile, and an offer too good to be true. Bring heroes back, legally, proudly, with cameras rolling and history rewritten. He sold optimism in a bottle. But in the shadows of his skyscraper, his sister Evelyn Deavor sat like a spider in the web, calculating, weaving. She wasn't just bitter. She was building. Screenslaver was the distraction. The real threat? A system. Hidden. Waiting. One she'd crafted over years. Not to just discredit heroes, but to control society itself. Her first tests weren't on Helen. They weren't even on civilians. No, she tested on retired supers. Ones the public forgot. They didn't disappear. They were erased cleanly, without noise. Gazer beam, blaze stone, macroburst. Names on memorial walls. But what if they were still out there? Not gone, just ghosted. Rewritten into shadows. Evelyn had cracked a code, not just to manipulate minds, but to turn intention into obedience, heroism into servitude. Screenslaver's signal was only the beta version. And yet, amidst all this, Helen shone. On magazine covers, news feeds, a sleek new suit, a motorcycle slicing the skyline. She was the face of trust reborn. But something about it, it felt rehearsed, staged. Helen thought she was solving crimes, but Evelyn was testing responses, tracking reactions. Every save, every stunt, was a variable in her larger equation. Meanwhile, Bob fought a very different battle. Math homework, screaming toddlers, teen girl heartbreak. But inside that quiet house, something stirred. Jack wasn't just growing. He was adapting, learning at a rate no super ever had. Teleporting between dimensions, mimicking energy, becoming something else. Frozone joked that he was an entire Avengers team in a diaper. But the truth was darker. Jack was unknowable. And Evelyn noticed. Her screens began picking up irregular pulses every time he used a new power. Unexplainable distortions. She ran simulations, and they crashed. Every time. So she changed the mission. Forget making supers obsolete. If she could extract Jack's unique abilities, bottle them, duplicate them, she wouldn't just control heroes. She'd replace them. Back on the streets, Helen faced Screenslaver in a smoky tower. A hypnotized man, or a mask hiding a larger truth? The moment her goggles snapped on and the signal hit her eyes, something inside her cracked. Not fear. Shame. Because the voice didn't lie. It whispered truths society didn't want to hear. You want supers back because you want to be told what to believe. You cheer heroes because you're too lazy to fix your own world. You'd rather be saved than strong. Those words came from Evelyn's mouth, but they echoed a global apathy. And while Helen fought her programming, Bob, Violet, and Dash charged in. Together, they stormed the Dver ship. But it wasn't just a battle, it was a rescue mission for themselves. The ship was rigged, of course. Not just to crash, but to broadcast one final blow, turn every super into a criminal, live on TV. Heroes, chained. Cities, screaming. And Evelyn? Gone. Ghosted. But the Pars didn't crumble. They sinked. Bob held the ship. Violet shielded the crew. Dash disarmed the system. Frozone sealed the hull with ice. And Jack? He found Evelyn. Cornered in her control room, she tried to run. She pointed a weapon. But before she could pull the trigger, Jack split. 3 of him. 10. A swarm of mini mayhem. And when she screamed, it wasn't fear of pain. It was fear of truth. Because her technology, her perfect algorithm, couldn't calculate Jack. He wasn't logic. He was chaos incarnate. He erased the signal. The control broke. And Evelyn, for the first time in years, saw a world without screens. They brought her in. The footage was scrubbed. Winston took responsibility. The public never saw the near collapse of society. Instead, they saw a family. In masks. driving into a sunset. But the world hadn't changed. Not really. Somewhere, beneath concrete bunkers, inside abandoned towers, Evelyn's early files still pulsed. Encrypted, breathing, and not everyone had turned off their screens. One signal, faint, pulsing in infrared, blinked out the words. Phase 2, initiated. Because if Evelyn believed people didn't deserve freedom, she wasn't alone. And this time, the screen wouldn't just hypnotize. It would evolve. The Incredibles may have won the battle, but the war for free will had only just begun.